On to today's topic, safer disposable foodware. There are myths and popular misconceptions around disposable foodware options that need to be clarified. In today's webinar, Gili Wolf, our sustainability manager here at Marketmen, will go through everything you need to know before purchasing disposable foodware. Gilly is the creator of Marketmen's sustainability and waste prevention program. She's been helping restaurant owners understand the environmental impacts that they're having and helping them take the necessary steps to reduce waste. Just a quick word about Marketman for those joining that might be learning about us for the first time today. Marketman is a cloud-based restaurant inventory management and purchasing system that provides a complete control of back-of-house operations for restaurant owners. The platform also includes features surrounding waste and reporting that can help operators understand patterns, trends, and how they can best prevent all of that waste from happening. This webinar series, as well as other initiatives taken by our company, are meant to provide restaurant operators with information that will assist them in leading more sustainable businesses. Without further ado, Gilly, take it away.
Thanks, Matt.
Of course.
I'm just going to share my screen with you.
Thank you.
Please. Okay.
Excellent. I think that we can all see it. You just need to go full screen, and there we go. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Matt. I'm really excited to be here today, and I want to thank you all for taking the time to join in. My name is Gilly, and I lead the sustainability efforts here at Marketmen. And among other things, I studied sustainability and behavior change. I'm really passionate about finding ways to get people to realize the positive impact they can have on the environment and to actually do something about it. So this webinar you'll be seeing today is a part of a restaurant sustainability series that are meant to provide restaurant operators with information that can assist them to lead more sustainable businesses. Let's get started. Today, I will give you some background on the environmental impact of single-use disposables and how governments and businesses are dealing with this tragic problem. Then we're going to explore the many benefits of reducing disposable usage, switching wherever possible to reusables, which from every standpoint are the safer and most cost-effective of all options. Then we will talk about the common chemicals that can be found in disposable foodware and their impact on the environment and of course on our health. And last, we're going to explore safer disposable options, what they are, and so that we know what to choose from. So let's dive into the not so clear waters and understand the implications of disposable foodware on the environment. I'm going to give you some statistics here to better understand the impact of single-use foodware on the environment. So researchers estimate that 8 to 12 million metric tons of plastic waste enters the ocean every year, causing the death of 1 million seabirds and over 100,000 marine animals from plastic entanglement and ingestion. But the real problem is that plastic is not biodegradable. It is photodegradable, which means that when exposed to light and UV radiation from the sun, it breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces called microplastics. According to the United Nations, at least 51 trillion microplastics are currently found in the ocean. Not only is it really hard to clean them up, but some small fragments of these microplastics are easily consumed by marine life, and they end up in the seafood that we all eat. So plastic litter from takeout orders that include cups and lids, plates and bowls, utensils, stirrers, straws, takeout containers, etc., are the prime source of plastic pollution that end up in waterways and in oceans. Some of this waste winds up in what is called the 5 gyres, which are large systems of rotating ocean currents. The most famous one, as you can see on the top of your screen, is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is a mass of waste in the ocean between Hawaii and California, in an area said to be 2 times the size of Texas, which is around 600,000 square miles in size. This is what the Great Pacific Gyre looks like. It's really important that we understand the tremendous amount of resources that disposable packaging products products consume, including oil, trees, energy, and water throughout their whole life cycle, from manufacturing to their disposal. Just as an example, the US accounts for about 120 billion disposable coffee cups each year. Manufacturing, transporting, and disposing of these cups uses more than, hold on, because this is bad, 22 billion gallons of oil, 26 pounds of CO2, and requires harvesting 20 million trees. The single-use cups are often made with hard-to-recycle materials like styrofoam or other plastics and are sent straight to landfills. More than 100 million pieces of plastic utensils and 500 million plastic straws are consumed by Americans every day. They can take up to 1,000 years to decompose, and what they do is that they leak really bad substances into the earth while they're breaking down. So by now it's clear that we have reached a tipping point where governments, corporate, and private companies are recognizing their part in this massive problem, and they're taking action to deal with it. More than 100 US jurisdictions have already banned styrofoam foodware, and many have already banned plastic straws. The image you're looking at on the left is a guideline issued by the city of Santa Monica, California, following a disposable foodware ordinance that went into effect January 2019. As you can see, all plastic, bioplastic, and aluminum foodware is banned. Natural fiber straws, utensils, and containers are approved. The European Union will completely ban single-use plastic cutlery, straws, and stirrers by 2021. We're also seeing many initiatives in the business sector as companies such as McDonald's, Bon Appetit, Starbucks, and many other food chains are realizing their environmental impact and are taking action by getting rid of some of their disposables and looking for more sustainable options. Several states such as Oregon, Washington, California, and New York have already issued specifications for disposable foodware. In this slide that you're looking at right now, these are the New York specifications, which are basically a hierarchy of environmentally desirable attributes that businesses should consider before purchasing foodware items. As you can see, reusable foodware is at the top of the hierarchy, followed by compostable in an industrial facility, then easily recyclable, and last, items that are made from post-consumer recycled content. What this basically means is that when purchasing foodware, we should always prefer reusable foodware, such as ceramic plates, mugs, bowls, and cups, and only when there's no option for washing reusables, you should purchase certified compostable or recyclable items with the highest percentage of recycled content, as opposed to products that are made from virgin materials. Recyclable items are at the lower priority of this list because contaminated disposables with stuck-on food residue would probably be rejected by recycling facilities and sent back to landfill. Also, we need to know that plastic utensils and straws are not recycled because of their small size and shape. The machines used to sort recycling just can't handle the small products, and what happens is that they slip through the system and often end up again in landfills and in waterways. The impact of single-use disposable foodware on the environment sounds very tragic, I know, and of course it is, but when looking on the bright side, this is also a great opportunity for restaurants to take action, to reduce their environmental footprint, to enhance their reputation, and of course, to increase their profit while doing so. More and more customers are starting to prefer restaurants that are more sustainable. Starting this year, 2020, it is estimated that Generation Z will account for 40% of all consumers globally. And latest research conducted by Oceanic Global has shown that 74% of millennial customers and 72% of Generation Z consumers are willing to pay more for sustainable products and services, which means that this is an amazing opportunity to create new marketing strategies that will get more customers through your door and increase your profit while saving money on business costs. This is also a great opportunity to get your employees involved. Several researchers have shown that when employees are involved in waste prevention programs, there is more engagement on their part, which actually translates into higher retention and into better job satisfaction. So as I mentioned before, the strongest and most effective way to reduce single-use disposable waste would be to go back to good old times and switch to reusables. Switching to reusable foodware means investing in durable products that are designed to be used thousands of times. So reusable dishware can actually be reused around 2,500 times in a typical restaurant setting. And even the most durable ceramic foodware surpasses its break-even point with disposables after only 120 uses and stainless steel only after 24 uses. So over time, replacing your disposables with reusable foodware can dramatically reduce your business costs. When you reduce the number of disposables that you purchase, you're of course also reducing your hauling fees. And the best part is that once the payback period is over and it's reached, you will start saving money with every use of a reusable product. As for the environmental impact, even when we're factoring in dishwashing, reusables use far less energy, water, and resources over their lifetime than would be needed to make, transport, and dispose of thousands of their disposable counterparts. So even if restaurants and coffee shops only offered consumers reusable foodware for on-site use, it would still mean a lot less environmental impact from extraction, production, manufacturing, and transporting of single-use items. Single-use foodware is also a significant source of litter. Food and beverage packaging ends up in public places, streets, parks, and buildings, and businesses need to start taking responsibility for what they're sending out to their community. Also, as you will soon learn, many disposable products are produced and used in ways that impact human health. As I mentioned before, consumers are willing to pay more for sustainable products and services, and business owners can attract new customers and earn their loyalty by switching to reusables. One idea you can consider would be to personalize and brand your reusable foodware products, both to stay and to go. Placing your logo on reusable coffee mugs, cups, napkin dispensers, or refillable containers, and starting initiatives such as discounts for bringing your own reusables helps in building your brand recognition as a business that supports single-use disposable reduction. Some of the examples you're looking at include in the middle picture, Blue Bottle Coffee, with 70 locations that have pledged to go zero waste by the end of 2020. Just Salad on the right, with 37 locations, started a reusable bowl program. Buy a reusable bowl for $1 and get free toppings. And Gimme Coffee that sell their own reusable branded mugs. If we already maximize our reusable foodware options and we have no choice but to use disposable foodware, then it is very important that before we purchase them, we understand what type of disposables are out there and what kind are harmful to people and to the environment. So most of us know that some plastic products, such as styrofoam, contain harmful chemicals. And for that reason, of course, it has been banned in many US cities around the world. Chemicals from styrofoam and from other plastic products can leach out into your food, especially when they're heated. Also, many paper disposable products can contain chlorine. But you're going to be really surprised to find out that even some of the compostable foodware that we all thought is the safest actually contains unsafe chemicals. Today, we're going to focus on a group of chemicals found in disposable foodware called polyfluorinated chemicals, or for short, PFAS. So some information about PFAS. PFAS are a group of man-made chemicals that have been used in the industry and consumer products worldwide since the 1950s. They're found mainly in non-stick, grease-proof consumer products such as disposable foodware, non-stick pans, paints, cleaning products, and firefighting foams. Without these chemicals, which have amazing water and grease-repelling properties, fiber products would fall apart in contact with hot or wet food. These chemicals are great at repelling water and grease because they're strong molecules that only break down in the most extreme man-made circumstances. This is also why they're called forever chemicals, because they don't break down and can stay in the environment for thousands of years. The main problem with these chemicals is that they can migrate out of products and find their way into the air that we all breathe, the soil in which we grow our food, and back into our bodies. Because these chemicals are so persistent, they move by air and water. And for example, if they are released here in the United States, they can migrate to the other side of the world. Exposure to PFAS can affect growth, learning, and behavior in children, interfere with our body's natural hormones, and is also linked with certain kind of cancers. So how do we know what kind of disposable packaging contain PFAS? The best option would be to take a look at the Center for Environmental Health, or CEH for short, SingleUse Foodware database. I will explain a bit more about how their database works in the following slide. According to the CEH, currently all molded fiber products they tested consistently indicated the presence of PFAS, meaning that molded fiber disposables such as clamshells, food trays, boats, plates, takeout containers, and bowls contain PFAS, and it is the CEH recommendation to avoid these products. You will be able to visually recognize molded fiber disposable foodware products because they do not contain that visible liner, as opposed to products that are not molded. Two more interesting pieces of information are, first, that some disposable foodware manufacturers are responding to this problem by developing new PFAS-free molded fiber products that will be partially released this year. The second is that all products certified by the Biodegradable Product Institute, BPI for short, that contain PFAS may no longer be claimed as BPI certified as of January 2020. The CEH SingleUse Foodware database is an excellent source for finding PFAS-free disposable foodware and suppliers. The database is easy to use, and it's divided into 4 main categories that include plates, takeout, trays, boats, and they give you information about material type, size, if it's BPI compostable certified, and even provide prices for most of the products. It's important to know that both CEH and BPI are reliable sources that ensure that the products and packaging they certify and recommend have been independently tested and verified according to scientifically based standards. So now that we understand the environmental and health-related implications of purchasing disposable foodware that contain chemicals, we could look into what safer alternatives are out there. With that said, again, and I have to emphasize this, we need to understand that all disposable foodware are bad for the environment, and we should always do our best to find every way to avoid their usage. So how do we know the difference between what isn't and is environmentally safe? We hear these terms constantly: biodegradable, compostable, bioplastics, and recyclable, but most of the time we don't really know what they mean. To be able to make the right decision on what disposable products to purchase, we have to also understand what happens to these items at the beginning and at the end of their life cycle. Are they being manufactured from virgin materials, recycled materials, or renewable sources? And where could they potentially go once disposed of? This is really important because the biggest environmental impact of disposables happens actually before you even buy the product. Biodegradable and compostable are terms that are sometimes used by companies in marketing materials to greenwash their products. So we need to be aware of product certifications. Just as an example, the state of California banned the use of the term biodegradable for any plastic sold in the state to stop misleading consumers with green claims. So there's a few terms that we must understand. Biodegradable plastics are plastics that decompose naturally in the environment and can break down anywhere. The question is, how long does it take them to break down? A plastic bottle, for example, will break down eventually, but it will take it 500 years. The difference between biodegradable and compostable products is that compostable are designed to degrade in an industrial composting facility in a specific amount of time, usually less than 80 days. Unlike compostable products, there is no industry standards for biodegradable products. Bio-based plastics are plastics made from organic, renewable material instead of fossil fuels. Most common types include sugar-based, corn, and plant-based PLA. But we have to know that there are trade-offs here to be considered regarding bio-based plastics, such as the resources needed to produce the renewable crop, including land, water, chemicals, and labor. Recyclable plastics are those that can be reused at the end of their life and repurposed into other useful items. So now that we've established the difference between compostable and recyclable disposable products, we can join the petroleum versus bio-based debate in a more comprehensive manner. Let's take a look at the pros and cons of petroleum, or PET for short, which are regular plastic products we all know, and compare them with bio-based, or PLA for short, based disposables, which are made from plants. The main advantage to PET-based disposables is the fact that they can be recycled, and a recycling system is usually common. The problem is that while you might think that the solution to plastic waste is recycling, the hard truth is that only 14% of plastic is actually recycled. Heavily soiled foodware is screened out and goes straight to landfills. Last, some plastic products may not work for hot applications, and when hot products are placed in containers, chemicals from the container can leach into food and into your bodies, our bodies, actually. Let's take a look at bio-based, PLA-based disposables. Their best virtue is that they reduce the reliance on non-renewable petroleum-based products and all the environmental impact associated with them. Many PLA products do not contain PFAS and are BPI certified compostable and CMA accepted, and can be also commingled with food waste wherever they're accepted. The main disadvantage to PLA disposables is that they only break down in a composting facility. So bottom line is that if there's no composting facility in your area that can take these compostables, they will go straight to landfills and take the same time to break down as regular plastics. We have almost reached the end of this presentation, and considering everything we've learned so far, and I know it's a lot to process, the big question here is, what are the safest disposable foodware options that we should consider to purchase? To be honest, the truth is there's no best disposable product. Each product's environmental impact varies depending on factors such as what material it's made of, is it paper-based, plastic-based, plant-based, does it contain any harmful chemicals, and how will it end its life cycle in a way that is least harmful to the environment and to human health. I don't know if you know this, but as of January 2018, China stopped accepting recycling from the United States. So currently the situation is that the US doesn't have the infrastructure to handle these massive volume of its own recycling. And this change in policy affects recyclable plates, cups, to-go containers, but also straws, stirrers, and cutlery that were never actually recyclable to begin with. So considering all this information, the best rule of thumb is to prioritize products that are made of material that comes from renewable feedstock, like recycled paper or bamboo, that typically have less of an environmental impact. The products you're looking at this slide are laid out from more favorable paper-based options in green to least favorable PLA-based options in black. This layout was built taking under account a scenario in which there is no industrial composting system in the area that takes compostable foodware, specifically PLA-based products, which is mostly the case here in New York or in other states. In a scenario such as this, the best way to go would be to choose products that are made of natural materials or are certified compostable. Uncoated paper-based products that are chlorine-free, PFAS-free, and are made from reliable, sustainable sources with the highest percentage of post-consumer content would be your best choice. Paper-based products such as paper straws, cups, plates, napkins, and bags are biodegradable, and they will naturally break down in a short amount of time, regardless of whether they end up in a composting system or in a landfill. And they are the best bet, mainly because composting facilities that usually don't accept PLA disposables will accept a certain amount of paper-based disposables. When looking for water, grease-resistant, and hot-resistant products, the next thing you should consider would be paper-based PLA line products, which will also have a good chance of being composted, or if they end up in a landfill, are less damaging to the environment than the plastic ones. Next, when considering any fiber-based products, and as I mentioned before, we must make sure first that they're not molded and do not contain PFAS. Then it would be best for us to consider FSC, which is the Forest Stewardship Council certified, wood cutlery, stirrers, or bamboo and palm leaf products are the best choice depending on their price. Last, plant-based compostables, specifically 100% PLA-based, are a great choice when they can be composted in a nearby facility. And when not, it is better to use any other mentioned disposable alternatives except for regular plastics, or even better, switch to reusables. So the best way to reduce your business footprint would be to switch to reusables wherever you can. You can contact the Rethink Disposable program to get help with switching to reusables. Next thing you can do is switch from plastic straws, utensils, stirrers, and takeout containers to chlorine-free paper-based fiber ones. It might cost a bit more, but it's worth it. Last, contact your supplier and ask for a new quote for all your disposables, focusing on paper-based and PLA-coated products, and make sure that any PLA-based items are BPI certified, CEH approved, and are accepted in a nearby composting facility. I will be sending out this slide, including more information from this presentation, to all webinar participants. Finally, let's go over some things you can do next that are going to save you a lot of money. First, train your staff to always ask your customers, is this for here or to go? Did you bring your own mug or container? Do you know about our discounts? Use reusable cups for water or paper ones upon request only. Hand out disposable items like straws and lids for cups upon request only. Put containers for stainless steel cutlery on tables or at a self-serving station. Use refillable containers instead of giving out condiments. Offer financial incentives for customers who bring you reusable cups and containers. And remember that this is also a great opportunity for you to be selling your branded reusables. I would like to end this presentation by presenting you to Grace. Grace works at a local coffee shop near my home in New Jersey. When I first came into this coffee shop and ordered an Americano, Grace smiled and asked me a very simple question. She said, "Would you like this to stay or to go?" And when I answered to stay, she showed me a mug to get my approval. Of course, I nodded in reply, and then I thanked Grace and asked her, how many people does she think have their coffee to stay every day? She replied, around 50. And I said, then you understand that on average, you have saved the world around 1,000 disposable cups each month just by asking a simple question. As you all well know, saving 1,000 cups each month also translates into saving money. In this case, Grace, working 5 shifts a week, saved around $250 a month, or around $3,000 a year. All of you listening today are probably here because you care. It may not seem so, but every one of us can actually make an impact. By each one of us taking even one step, one action to reduce the waste we create, the accumulated impact will be huge. Thank you all so much for joining today and listening. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Gilly. We really appreciate that. What we're going to do now is just go to the Q&A section to see if anyone's asked any questions. Perfect. We can all still see the screen. So the first question that came in today was, what is the most sustainable option for disposable cold cups that are typically plastic? So I guess regular plastic cups that people buy.
Yes.
Gilly, do you have an answer for that?
Yes, so I would say the best option actually depends on how important it is for you to have a clear cup or not. If it's not absolutely necessary that you purchase clear cups, then you could choose a paper-based Gilly lime cup. If it is, then you should go with a PLA clear cup because it's made from plants using renewable, lower carbon materials.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Second question that we have, can you clarify how we can be sure there are no fluorinated chemicals in specific brands of compostable dishware? So you're gonna have to take that one, Gilly, because I don't know what that means.
Of course. Well, the best source to check for PFAS-free disposables, as I mentioned before in the presentation, would be to use the CH, which is the Center for Environmental Health database. And I promise to send the link to their database to all webinar participants so they can take a look at it, because it has a lot of information and products and manufacturers, and so you can receive a lot of information from that source.